guys, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel and another Friday 5. So today I'm going to be talking about my 5 favorite products from Malli Beauty, and this is a brand that I don't hear talked about a lot on YouTube, and I had shown a PR package that I got from them in my Sunday haul and got an overwhelming response from you guys asking to please film a video on my favorite Malli products because you just don't know a whole lot about the brand, haven't tried anything from them, and I think it's really a shame that we don't hear a lot about Malli because she has some amazing products, many of which I've been using now for about 5.5 years. So I'm really excited to share these 5 products with you. But first, I just want to quickly give you a little background on Malli in case you're not familiar with her or the brand at all. So Malli is a celebrity makeup artist, and she's worked with Beyonce and J-Lo, Rihanna, Heidi Klum, a whole bunch of really big names, and then she started her makeup brand, and I think the first time I was introduced to it was on QVC, back when my son was first born and I was up kind of around the clock. Sometimes I would turn the TV on in the middle of the night just to wake myself up a little bit so I didn't completely fall asleep holding him, and I started watching QVC. I had never watched it in the past, but a lot of times I would catch a beauty segment and I saw Malli on there, and I just loved her energy. She's just so much fun and seems like a really sweet, genuine person, and a lot of her products sounded interesting. So I think the first product I ever bought was her Perfect Prep Primer, which I will talk about in this video, and then I moved on to the Shadow Sticks, the Poreless Face Defender. Pretty much all the products I'm going to talk about today I have been using since the beginning. And then I found out that she was also sold at Ulta, but currently she's not at Ulta anymore. She's in Kohl's now, so I actually have a Kohl's right down the street from me, so it's awesome. I can just go right over there and grab what I need. She's also still available on QVC, and she has a website as well. So everything that I talk about today I'm going to link down below. And I would say if you're going to shop Malli, definitely check QVC first, because a lot of times, especially with something like the Shadow Sticks, they have them available in a set, and they're a lot cheaper if you buy a few of them than if you buy them individually. But also Kohl's is really great because you can always use Kohl's Cash on it, or those little $5 Yes to You rewards, so you can use those as well. And sometimes Kohl's just has amazing sales. Last week or the week before, they had one day only where Malli was 50% off, like the whole brand. So I stocked up on a few of my favorites that day because it was so worth it. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump right in. And I think the first product I'll talk about is the first thing that I ever tried from Malli, and that is her Perfect Prep Poreless Primer. Now, this primer used to come in a big jar, and I think I went through about 3 jars of it before I ended up switching to the tube, and I'm actually really glad that it's in this packaging now. I do prefer it to the jar, and I'll just go ahead and show you close up and show you what this looks like because I love the texture of this. It's so super silky on the skin. It's very lightweight. It feels hydrating on my dry skin, which I love. And I know I always talk about the L'Oreal primer in the jar, the Studio Secrets one, because that one really helps to blur out my pores. But this one I love more in the summertime because the L'Oreal one is also very thick and very heavy, and it's not something that I really want sitting on my skin when it's hot and humid. So when the summertime hits, I usually switch to this one because it does a great job still of blurring out my pores and fine lines, but it also just feels almost weightless on the skin, so I really love that about it. I'm going to go ahead and show you a before and after photo so you can see how much this really blurs the pores on my cheek especially. I think it does a really awesome job at blurring out everything and just making my skin feel so incredibly silky and smooth. So that is why I love this primer and have repurchased it so many times. And also she does have a neutralizing version as well, and this is the one that I unboxed last Sunday, so I really haven't had a chance to try this one yet, but who knows, this one may end up being on a future favorites list down the road because this one has sort of a peachy tint. It's supposed to color correct your skin before you put on your foundation and just get rid of discoloration. So I do have a lot of dark spots on my cheeks now, so I'm very excited to use this and see if it'll help minimize that, because at this point most foundations that I use don't cover up those dark spots unless I'm willing to go completely full coverage, which I don't like to do nowadays because I feel like they don't look natural on my skin anymore. So I'm hoping that this one will help just add an initial layer of color correction, and it'll help those foundations not have to work so hard. So I will keep you updated on this one for sure. And then the next product I want to talk about is the Perfect Prep Under Eye Brightener. I've used this for years and years, but I hardly ever talk about it. I don't know why. It's just one of those steps that I do kind of almost as skincare. So I think one of Malli's celebrity clients, I remember her saying that they dubbed this sunshine in a bottle, and it really is. It's a yellow tinted cream basically, and it's supposed to help counteract those blue tones and mask dark circles. So I put this on after my skincare, but before I start my makeup, and it really does help to neutralize things. So I'll go ahead and just show you a clip of me applying it so you can see the difference it makes on one eye versus the other. I don't have really dark circles to speak of. Sometimes I do if I don't get enough sleep, but at the moment I really don't have that much darkness under my eyes, but you can still see how much this really brightens up my eye area. And unlike a concealer, it's not going to settle into fine lines. It doesn't look cakey. It really is just like yellow tinted skincare almost. It's really hydrating. It has hyaluronic acid in it. It has more of like a gel-like formula. And even though it is on the pricier side, it's $35 for this tube. You literally only need a tiny little bit, just a little pin drop on my ring finger, and then I just press it together like this and pat it under my eyes. So this tube would probably last me like a whole year or more. It's crazy, but I really do love this to help me look more awake. I feel like I never get sleep these days ever since I had my son. First it was sleepless nights when he was little. Now it's just getting up for school every day, and I'm up really late at night till at least midnight editing videos and things like that. So this is really a lifesaver for me and just helping me look more awake, even though I don't particularly have really dark circles. And then next up, we have her Shadow Stick Extras, and these have been a staple in my beauty routine now for, like I said, about 5.5 years. When I first started watching Malli on QVC, I ordered a set of 5 of these, and I have never looked back. Now I have, I think, 11 of them total. I have 8 of the shimmer ones and then 3 of the extra velvets, which are a matte formula, and I just love these so much. They serve so many different purposes. First, I love them just in the summertime because I just slick them on my eyelid and I'm good to go. It's just a really quick and easy way to look put together. I also love using these as a base under powder eyeshadows. They really help to extend the wear time and also help to add a little bit of depth and make the colors more vibrant. So let me go ahead and swatch all the colors for you, and I'll start with the shimmer shades. The first one is Champagne. Next we have Moonlight, and then Copper Caviar. Next is Sand Drift. Then we have Burnished Bronze, Mahogany, Chocolate Diamond, and then the last one is Storm. And then the extra velvet shades I have are Thistle, Timeless Taupe, and Dune. And also, like I mentioned before, I highly recommend waiting until you can find these in a set. Usually they come in sets of 2 or 3 or sometimes 5. There was an awesome set at Kohl's over the holidays that had 5 of these in it, and it was such a good deal. They're $25 each, which is kind of steep. I think the only time I've ever bought one singly was when I bought Timeless Taupe at Kohl's recently, because this shade is one of my favorites. It's one of the extra velvet matte ones, and I use this so often that I really just wanted it. I didn't want to have to wait for a set, so I purchased it on its own. But everything else that I have came in a set, and they're just such a better deal that way. Usually that way they work out to more like $10 a piece or even less sometimes rather than $25. So it's definitely worth waiting for a set. I think they do have a few on QVC right now, but like I said, sometimes they show up at Kohl's too, so definitely keep your eyes open for that. So I am wearing 2 of these on my eyes today, and I am going to show you really quickly how I apply them, because I think since I've been talking about these since, you know, back in my blogging days, I've been getting a lot of questions about just how I use them, how I blend them, and how I use more than one color on my eyes, because a lot of you guys have bought them and then felt like you could only just use one color. So I'm going to show you how I got this 2-color look that I'm wearing today. So first I took one of the extra velvets. This one is in the shade Thistle. It's a really beautiful dusty mauve, and I apply this starting at the outer corner, and I kind of draw a line upward and then across into my crease. And I love these because they're just so precise, and you can put the color exactly where you want them. They're super creamy and blend really easily, so I just blend them out with my finger, and usually I blend this into the center of my eye and all along my crease. You have probably, I would say, 30 seconds of playtime before it starts to set and dry down, and once these dry down, they do not move. Like, they're completely bulletproof. As Malli says, they stay until you take them off at night. And there's been times when, like, I was swatching them on my hand and then I went to go wash them off and I could not get them off, even with like a stronger soap, like a dish soap at the sink, just scrubbing at it and scrubbing at it. So they really do last on the skin. If you use an oil-based makeup remover at night, they come off really easily, more easily than they would with soap. But that's why I love these so much. So especially in the summertime when it's hot and humid, again, they're not going to slide around. They don't crease, which is fantastic. So then for my lid area where I didn't put anything, I'm applying the shade Sand Drift. And this one is a really beautiful, cool, shimmery, grayish taupe shade. It's so super pretty, and it just goes beautifully with that dusty mauve shade that I applied to the crease. And I just pat this all over my lid, and really that's it. It's so super simple. Oh, and I also forgot to mention that I did line underneath my eyes with the Thistle shade as well, and I just connected it right where I put it on the top here. And that's actually another thing. If you like to line underneath your eyes with shadow, but you find that it smudges throughout the day, these will not. They don't go anywhere. So they're great for lining underneath the eyes. You're not going to end up with raccoon eyes or fallout or anything like that. So these are just so simple and so easy to use. Like I said, going into the spring and summer, especially when I just want really quick looks that'll get me out the door, I reach for these. They're amazing. Another favorite of mine that I've been using probably for about 3 years now is the Muted Muse palette. And this one is such a classic. It's really the perfect palette, and I've taken this with me on so many trips because it has literally everything you need. You have a row of cooler shades right here. You have a row of warm shades, and then you have these two larger pans. And I love the way that she set this palette up because these larger pans, like your matte ivory shade and then your matte transition, are the ones that usually you hit pan on first, and they're the ones that you use the most. So she made those a little bit larger so you don't run out as quickly, but you can also use them on your face to highlight and contour. So that's what makes this a really awesome travel palette. But it's really the perfect palette. You have some lighter shades, you have some mid-tone shades, and then you have two deeper shades down here. So you really can create just so many looks with this. And she also has a couple different versions of this as well. She has the Muted Muse Velvet, which I also have, that has a little bit more earthy tones. It's a really beautiful palette as well. And then she also has the Rose Gold version, which I don't have, but I keep meaning to pick that one up because it looks beautiful as well. And then also there's the Malli Wood palette, which was limited edition, but I saw that it is still on the QVC website, so I'll go ahead and show you that one. That one is also the same sort of setup as this one and same formula. And that reminds me, I didn't even mention the formula. It's awesome. It's one of my favorite eyeshadow formulas, and that's saying a lot because I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes, but this one is just incredible. It's so pigmented and they blend like a dream. They are so super silky, and the many times that I've shown this on my Instagram page and when I talked about it on my blog, I got so much feedback from you guys as well when you decided to go ahead and purchase it, that you just loved it as much as I did. So I feel like this palette is really a hidden gem and definitely worth picking up, especially if you just want a really good all over neutral, easy to wear palette that's also very travel friendly. I mean, it's nice and small, and you do have the products in there that you can use on the face as well. So I just think this one is amazing. And then last but not least, we have the Evercolor Poreless Face Defender. This is another product that I bought very early on when I first heard about Malli, and I haven't looked back. I've purchased it so many times. This basically is my setting powder. Now, I already did talk about this in a Friday 5 a couple weeks ago, so I don't want to repeat myself too much or go too in depth, but if you didn't see that one, this is basically a clear setting balm. So if you have dry skin like I do and you don't like the look of powders on your skin and you have really hard time finding one that doesn't look powdery or chalky, try this one because it's a weightless setting balm, and when you apply it to the skin, it mattifies everything down so you can go ahead and apply your blush or contour products to your face without them skipping or dragging or getting stuck in your foundation. So it helps to dry everything down, also gets rid of shine, and helps to minimize lines and pores. So it really does a bunch of different things, not to mention that it sets your makeup and helps it to last all day. It just completely locks it into place. So it does so many things. It's such an amazing product, and it does come with a big sponge, but I actually like to use it with my fingers. I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but I just find that the sponge tends to soak up my foundation sometimes, even though I just pat it instead of rub it, which that is what you're supposed to do. So I just go ahead and swirl my fingers around in it and then just press it into my skin like this. You only need a little bit and it works beautifully. So again, I really love this one a lot and I am never without it. And then just quickly before we go, this isn't part of the top 5, but I just wanted to mention it because I am wearing it on my face today. This is the Malli Complexion Perfection Soft Focus Foundation, and I purchased this from Kohl's when they were having that 50% off sale that I mentioned earlier in the video. And so far, I am really, really loving this foundation. It just kind of glides over fine lines and wrinkles. It doesn't settle. It has almost a moussey-like consistency, but it's not a dry mousse formula. I know some foundations that have a mousse texture can feel really dry. This one doesn't, and it just gives my skin a soft focus effect like the name says. So I'm really, really enjoying this so far. So I will definitely keep you guys updated on this one, but I just wanted to mention it quickly since I am wearing it on my face today. Alright guys, so those are my top 5 favorite products from Mally Beauty. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, and also let me know down in the comments below if you've tried Mally and what your favorite products are, or if you haven't tried Mally's products, which ones are you excited to try? I would love to chat with you guys and hear your thoughts. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!